Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this deep woo-woo episode of Tarot Readings by Janine. You can find her work at Sending Ravens and also here at Tarot by Janine on YouTube. Janine, welcome back.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Jean-Claude.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. You look great. You're smiling. I love your colors. Yeah. So how was your day?
Good. Good. I spent a lot of it with my son, and that's always fun.
Of course, in these weird times, it's good to be around people you love, and those are fewer and fewer apart with all the restrictions and the new ones that are suddenly imposing upon us. So yes, and speaking of spending time with loved ones, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight and spending time with us and sharing the love in this amazing, beautiful community. So thank you for sharing, and also for sharing your comments and also your questions in the show. We want to participate with you tonight. And we want to say before we start that Monday's episode, I think, hit a record in terms of how many comments Janine and I got in the live stream, in the post comments, and also by email and by Twitter. You guys absolutely blew us away with all of your love, and it really made the difference. I'll speak for myself here, I'll let Janine speak, but for me, it really made a difference. A big thank you for all you guys. That was absolutely amazing. Janine, how did you feel?
I got the most beautiful emails afterwards, and also reading the comments, but the emails that came in afterwards.
Yeah.
Because some people feel more comfortable, writing an email as opposed to leaving a comment. And it was like a treasure full of love, like truly. And it felt good. It really, I got to tell you, it was beautiful.
It was a total love bomb, like a just explosion of love. And I was like, wow, okay, I had no idea. And so it far, far outweighed some of the critiques out there that Janine and I had been facing here in the last couple of days. So it felt really good. Thank you, guys. And of course, we're human to you. Speaking of the schedule, just before we went live today here, guys, I recorded this live stream here called Special Updates. And I went through some of the changes that are going to occur here in the next week or two before the year's end in terms of our production schedule on YouTube per se. And I did talk about our pay-per-views and the Insider Access Pass content just to keep you guys up to date. And of course, thank you, all of you, for the support at pay-per-view and also the Insider Access Pass. And to let you know that, of course, there are some delays, but that doesn't mean they're canceled. So there are delays we are going to fulfill. And as always, Jean-Claude typically over-delivers. So don't stress too much. There's just a lot going on, and we are rolling with the punches, not just Janine and I, but all of our other guests as well. Okay, we have a lot to start with tonight. Let me start with this one here, Janine. You just posted this on your Twitter. Why don't you go ahead and set that up for the audience here, and I will bring down the link also so people... Actually, can I bring that one down, that video on Rumble? Maybe not. I'll let you set it up here, and we'll see where we go from here.
Okay, so this is Ricardo, I think Marman, but I might have said that wrong, and I apologize if I did. But we've heard from this fellow before. I shared his what he's saying before. He's the guy from South Africa who's him and, of course, a lot of other people taking their government to task on literally crimes against humanity. And they lay it out. So what they asked their government was to prove that there was reason for locking down the whole world, putting people in danger. He spells out, they're much less shy about talking about what's actually happening with the, what, and all of the results of that. They're like just laying it out in this these papers they put to the courts. And they're saying literally these people are putting the whole country in danger and potentially their lives, but also they're changing their DNA with this stuff. And like, if you're even a part of this and no one's answered to them properly, that there is even a reason for all of this. The reason's never been laid out. They say they have, but then they don't actually come through with it. So that's what they're doing with, like, there's been nothing been isolated and shown to people that this exists and it's actually dangerous. It's more dangerous than like the yearly, things that plague us, flu-like type things. I'm going to be careful, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they've got, and they didn't get anything back so far from their government, but the government also failed within 10 days to come after they served them that. They failed to, there was one step they could do. He explains it much better than I could. So the whole thing might dissipate, but they didn't do that either. So they seem to absolutely be just, they're going to go through with this and likely shut down their government with it.
Wow, that's fascinating. Because, there was a court challenge in Alberta where a citizen had asked for proof of the science behind all of this, and they came to nothing. Of course, the emergency orders were rescinded. Similar happened here in Ontario. I believe it was in June or July of this year. But still, they're going forward with their shenanigans. But even now, it was WestJet, I believe, in the news today with response to the new restrictions that the federal government here in Canada was imposing on travel. And they were like, hey, Mr. Government, can you give us the science data that you're basing these decisions? So that was new to see the airline kind of say, hey, this far, no farther, we're done with this. So
more companies need to do that.
Yeah,
exactly. Step up, everybody, like wake the hell up and just start saying, no, why are we doing this? Why is our whole economy being ruined by this? This is ridiculous. You got to show us why we're doing this, because it's weird.
So speaking of waking the hell up, some people are not waking up. They're actually going to bed, Janine. Here in New Zealand now, this from the Prime Minister, of course, announcing that now New Zealanders are allowed to have 25 people in their orgies. And no, folks, this is not The Onion. This was actually in their news. They were calculating here with all the new restrictions and allocations for this situation in that part of the world. And I was like, what the hell?
It's like, okay. Sounds like somebody high up in the government was planning on a big Christmas orgy, so they needed to make sure they could get all the guests in.
Right. Those politicians don't want to get caught like all the other ones over the year doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing. Yeah, so that could be what's going on. But let's just read into it. Is it that, or is this again another example of the white hats just basically putting in your face how absolutely ludicrous this is coming up for people to just wake up again, as opposed to, of course, going into bed with 25 other people here?
Actually, the best word ever you could use for that is ludicrous. Like, that's ludicrous.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's exactly what's happening.
A big yes. I love it.
You're trying to go, this is so silly. You notice. Oh, yeah.
Oh, do you remember, was it in British Columbia, the CDC in BC last year that was supposing that, to reduce the risk of infection, they were recommended that people use GLO, blah, 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 holes instead of having sex with people? Do you remember that? I was like, and it was serious. It was on their website. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Crazy people running this shit show over the world.
Speaking of weird things on websites, I forgot to mention this before we went to air, but have you seen on the CRA? So,
well, they went down through this hack a couple of days ago. You mean the Canadian? Canada Revenue Agency you're talking about?
Yeah, those guys. Has that come back up again?
I'm not sure that it has already, because they had said it was going to be a couple of days. I can bring out my Twitter feed. I posted this a couple of days ago. I think they had shut down only their online services, but the rest of the internal stuff was still working. This happened to them last year too. So why don't you pull cards? Actually, I'll see if I can bring up the article.
I'm just thinking that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Just timing of it, but let's have a look.
Okay, let's see.
I didn't know it happened last year too.
Yeah. Well, what is the security flaw that led to CRA shut down its website? Okay, go ahead.
Just even ask, like, what's going on with them?
Yeah.
Like, are they a thing?
Yeah. Is this an excuse to buy time because they're no longer a thing? Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's give it a look.
Yeah. So big secret things going on. Big secret things. They were absolutely connected. This is in the past to the deep state dark cult. So in other words, they were created in, against humans, right? So we know that they've been running illegally. All of that's illegal, people. So that's interesting to know. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of secret things really going on. It's a secret. They're taking this time to restructure and secretly either take it apart or, yeah, they're doing something there. It's going to look all new and different into the new year. It's going to be a whole different ball game. Like we're in total new territory here. It's not going to be it probably won't be called that, and it won't be run by those people, and your money won't go to where it used to go to, and everything's different about it.
Wow. Okay. Do we want to read a little bit more in terms of maybe timing? You just said the new year. Are we looking at spring? Are we looking at summer? Let's ask the cards for a little bit more clarity, because I'm sure a lot of people are asking themselves right now, okay, well, what do I do with this year's reporting?
So by April, it's a whole new gig. My full month. And this is interesting. It looks like something that's coming out. This is my good guy alliance card. Like something's coming out right away. So there's some big change coming out right away. And in that big change, so that could be the financial sort of changes that we get are coming. In that big change, they may announce then what's going on with it. There could be an announcement before this happens.
Well, I'm aware of two things that might add to what you're just saying now, but I need to refrain for now to make a little bit more validations of it. But that timing seems correct. So we might be able to come back to that maybe in a week or two and revisit that one for you, for the audience. All right. Yeah, that's a touchy one. Okay. Let me go right away to the Insider Access Pass members. I love you guys. Angel S. Question for Janine. Do you have a message from my dad who passed away 2 years ago? Love you both. Thank you for the great work you're doing together. So, any message from her dad, from Angel, 2 years ago, he passed away. Thank you, Angel. Hey, Janine, while you're reading those cards, Wendy is asking, hey, question, does Canada have white hats? Absolutely. There are decentralized cells all over the world, and there are definitely some here in Canada. Okay. Yeah. Back to you, Janine.
Okay. So it looks like at the time of the father's passing, it might have happened over a long period of time through illness. So I wonder if they're still on the chat, they could let us know if that was true, because it looks like there was a long-standing situation that caused the person to deteriorate over time, like does happen in a long-standing illness.
Right.
But when the thing came on, it came on suddenly, but then so suddenly they may have been diagnosed with something, but then it took a period of time. And in that period of time, I feel like it was, they didn't really have a lot of time to get okay with their leaving. Like it doesn't feel like they didn't feel like they felt like they were being taken away from family and friends, as opposed to feeling really comfortable with it. Like sometimes when you have a lot of time between knowing about something, but in this case, it felt like they were taken away from loved ones sooner than they wanted to, because there's a lot of unfinished kind of connections. They wanted to make so many more connections before they left. So there was that feeling of, okay, I didn't get to really connect with everybody I wanted to. Even if they connected with some of them, they didn't get to everybody. So there is a feeling of they've likely made some rounds since in the spirit world. I feel like they've been making up for that since in the spirit world. Sometimes you'll get a visitation by somebody at the end of your bed or something like that, various different family members. Now, they're looking really forward to something really exciting happening in the person who asked the question's life. So the person who asked the question, this is for them. This fellow that they're asking about, their spirit self, is really excited about something coming that person wished for. So the woman that was a woman that asked the question?
I believe Angel, yes, was the name.
Okay. Yeah. So that person's life, there's this really exciting thing that angels wished for a really long time. And this entity that we're talking to knows about it, knows she's wished for that, and is excited that something's coming that they've wanted for a really long time. So they're going to be with them in celebrating that new direction or whatever it is that they've been wishing for, and they'd know what it was. I think they're going to be with them, so like they feel really happy for them, like it's like they're looking forward to what's coming for Angel.
Wow. Okay. Angel, if you're still in the chat, let us know if that makes sense. And thank you so much for that question. I'll be back to the Insider Access Pass in a bit here. We'll move to the PayPal tip jar here in a moment. But before we go there, I wanted to bring up this. This was very interesting. I believe it was yesterday during our show, or no, it was yesterday during my show with Indigo Angel. I was just scanning the news to see if there's anything else we can bring to bear on the conversation. And I was like, what the hell? Veritasium is $1.3 billion with a B. What just happened? So, of course, I took a snapshot of the chart, only to realize that a bunch of other coins also on CoinMarketCap had extreme valuations all of a sudden. And they quickly came out to say, oh, we have a glitch here, and the valuations you're seeing on screen are not correct. So that's the cover story. And that could very well be that they were hacked. They've been hacked before with the Silver Reddit folks, or I forget which one it was. But also, something in my mind told me, is it possible that the white hats kind of did this to kind of show some of the people who are in crypto what the real value of the crypto as soon as this petrodollar is announced to be dead, as it actually is, but it just hasn't been announced yet? Was it kind of just a tip of a hat to let people know here about this huge transition of wealth that's coming up? Did they have their hands in that, or is there something else?
I think they did. There was something going on in secret, and it looks like it had a message. It could have even been specifically to somebody, or specifically to a group of people, but it was a secret message of some kind. There was a calm there. And I wonder if, even if we counted how many zeros there were, I don't know, something about they're sending messages here.
Oh, that could be too. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Wow. Well, yeah. Again, I got an email yesterday or the day before from Cliff, and he was picking up some numbers for silver here. And so he gave me a couple of numbers to watch for. And after that, it was a big question mark, meaning we don't know the price or we can't obtain it. And it's not that far away, guys. So I'll probably do another show on that. And speaking on that, actually, just before we go to the PayPal tip jar, today, folks, again, the silver to gold ratio is completely out of whack. Historical highs. It takes 80 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. So a lot of people who are looking at this very carefully, they know that the silver to gold ratio coming out of the ground right now is actually maybe 7, 8, 9 to 1. So there's a big discrepancy here, meaning that there's way more moves for silver to go up in this revaluation than for gold. So this is very, very interesting. Let's talk about that, Janine. I was talking to Andy earlier today, and of course, I couldn't get him on the phone. He's got a gazillion orders coming in because people are realizing, hey, while the silver is cheap and being suppressed today because the Federal Reserve was coming out with their taper talk, they're talking about accelerating interest rate hikes here very soon. It kind of caused all of this turmoil here and this down pressure on silver just before that meeting. So let's ask for, how do I do this time? We've been asking this question in many different angles. What do the people need to know who are not invested in silver right now? What do they need to know about silver and how potentially it'll have an impact on their life? Let's get a message from the stars on that angle or at that front.
Wow. Okay, so that's the past.
Yeah.
It says, so you've been resisting, because lots of people resist. Like I resisted for a really, people were, I had a client years ago who always paid me in silver coins and told me one day I could pay my son's, he was thinking around the time my son was 18, I'd be able to pay his university. And that's that he's 18 this year. So he was right on in the timing.
Right.
Okay. So I just want to give that guy a shout out. I won't say his name because he didn't give me permission, but he for a long time was telling me about this. So it looks like, so they're resisting, even though there's a lot of evidence or intelligent people talking about, hey, this is going, they're going to resist. Okay. But in the next, I'd say this month, so that's my December card, you might want to grab some of it, because this is what's going to happen. It's going to get really voluptuous. It's going to be the thing that could even give you like what people are calling generational wealth.
Right.
Like set your whole life. Like say you bought your silver today at what is it, 25 or something?
It was 22. Well, yeah, with the premiums around 25.
By the time you pay the over whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Okay, so say even $27 an ounce, and by January 1, you're looking at closer to 1,000 an ounce, and then like 600 to 1,000, let's say that.
Yeah.
And then it has that. That's the potential we're looking at, and then it goes up from there. Yeah. So yeah. It's good. Yeah. Like you want to get in on that. Like now you can take that, what you spent, $630 worth of silver. Now you could buy a house with it.
Yeah, pretty much. And that happened in the 1930s for all the people who are looking at this. Oh, that never happened. Oh yeah. People bought houses, or, the Hilton family bought all their hotels at 20 cents on the dollar using silver, because they were all out of cash just before the crash. They knew what was coming, and they were hard on silver. So that's what created this empire of the Hiltons. Go read your history. Anyways, go check this episode from last Friday with Cliff, Bix, and I, why this time is very different. We do get into the silver and also the decentralized finance system that is coming about here very, very shortly. And if you see the dates on the board as well there, you might be interested in seeing the subsequent show from Friday night with Janine and Julie, where we looked at the astrology of all of these dates and how absolutely critical they are here moving forward. So guys, if you are looking still and you were hesitating and you were on the fence and you're listening to Janine and said, okay, maybe I should dip my toes here, check it out. These are the last discounts that Andy sent me earlier this morning. We had to remove a few things that he's out of stock already, but he put the Philharmonics back on there. Those are at $360 over spot. So that comes out to what Janine was saying here, about 22 bucks per ounce plus $3 or $4 over spot here. Amazing deal here from Miles Franklin. And you can get that at beyondmystic.net/silver. And again, last week, my buddy Bix Weir was kind of laughing at these 1,000-ounce COMEX bars. But there's a lot of big players who were also on the fence, and they're buying, of course, in big quantities. And these bars are going a lot faster than we thought also. I was like reluctant to even put them on the special. This, of course, you're talking about $25,000 per bar here. But there's a lot of people out there even buying those. So crazy things happening in the world of silver. Don't let yourself caught here when you get to that moment of panic to own or unobtainium, as Cliff High is picking up in his Webbot data. All right, now PayPal to jar. Let's go back here. Okay, oh, this is cool. Somebody, their name is Vaccination Liberation. I love that. Okay, thank you, Janine and Jean-Claude. Carry on. That's a message in and of itself. Thank you for that tip. You're absolutely amazing. Barbara Cullen. Okay, let's do this one. Can you check the cards to please? Okay, please. Am I on the correct path? I have connection with Atlantis. I feel like an old soul. Okay, so is Barbara connected to Atlantis? And what possibly could the cards tell her about her path here moving forward? Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate that. And thank you, everyone, for the PayPal tip jar. In a second here, I will be showing you the video of tonight's pyramid that is up for grabs from the amazing Carla here at Ascension Orgonite. So let's go back to our question on the screen. Barbara, connection to Atlantis. And what's her path moving forward? What do the cards say?
If her path is somehow using her positivity to teach others, in particular youth or children, because we've got teaching and instructing and guiding, and then we've got the sun, so youth, children, and it really well aspects everything. So the best qualities of this card happen when this card's next to it. Okay, this card can be tricky because it can be oppressive and like, look, it's a pope, you know what I mean? But but it's a great teacher and a guide and an instructor, and could even start their own college, and or institution of learning that is not of the dark cult type institutions. That we're going to need that going forward. So I feel like if that's what they're thinking, either organizing something where other people come and teach through, or literally being a teacher themselves and standing up at the front and guiding people, absolutely. That's, if they're doing that, then they are on the right path. If they're not doing that, then they haven't hit the path yet. That's what I get. So if they're at least going towards that, or open up to that idea.
Okay. Barbara, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for the tip. You guys are amazing. So I have the link for silver. Somebody's asking for the link. Let me bring that back up. Sorry, I think I went too fast over that one. Hold on a second here. That was beyondmystic.net/silver. And you'll see at the bottom here is the contact form that go directly to Andy and his brokers here for this discount that's afforded to the Beyond Mystic audience. Now, Angel is asking, when are you having Andy back on? Okay, Andy Sheckman. Yes, we might do a show tomorrow. But again, with everything happening here too, and how crazy busy they are, he said, JC, can we maybe push to next week? So he's asking me if we can push to next week. We are also launching the Canadian division here to be able to take payments in Canadian dollars for our Canadian audience, making it a little bit easier also for our Canucks here to get their hands on some silver. So I might have a show tomorrow, but from the last text message I saw from Andy, it's probably going to push to next week. Okay, Angel, thank you for that question as well. Now, let's go back here for the PayPal tip jar. Yes, let me show this beautiful Orgonite pyramid from Carla. Let me bring the volume up here so you can hear what this pyramid named Nora is all about.
Hey everyone, this is Carla from Ascension Orgonite, and today I have the beautiful Nora. So Nora is also one of the first designs that I made. She's one of the originals. She's made of aluminum metals and obsidian crystal, black obsidian crystals. So black obsidian is known to be a protector or a repellent of psychic attacks. So she is a protection stone for psychic or emotional attacks. She's also great for the workplace. So if you have an office, a shop, or somewhere where you do work, she will be a great addition to that space to help you concentrate, help you focus, help you also stave off any negative energies. She also has a flower of life in silver, and I'll give her another quick turn around so you can see her. And there she is. Hope you like her. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Carla. That was amazing. I love that. I love the color of that, and I love absolutely the black obsidian. That would be great in anybody who does YouTube channels to kind of hold off some of the negative energies out there during the shows. What do you think about this one, Jenny?
I like it. You know what? It looks like the weather here right now.
Yeah, actually.
Yes, really like it looks exactly like what our winter day looked like today.
All right, guys, do go check it out. You can find her on Etsy.com here, and you're looking for Ascension Orgonite. Let me bring that link back down to the live chat here as well. And don't forget there, guys, use the Beyond Mystic coupon. It'll give you an extra 10% off of these beautiful creations. And similar to me, guys, and Janine, Carla's working really, really hard here to get all of this done before Christmas, and to also take some quality time with her family. So she sent me an email today saying, of course, she's pumping out a few hundred pyramids here on a daily basis. So there's a lot going on in her life. And of course, these are all handmade, guys. So please, be cognizant of the fact that it takes a little bit longer here. These are not bought in pre-order or pre-molded as you would buy in some other shops here. So again, you're supporting an individual here who is also contributing to this human organic economy we're all trying to build. We're not supporting the Amazons of the world or the Walmarts of the world. We're helping each other out here. So a big thank you to all of you guys for supporting Carla, and for being patient also with all of us here as we build this new economy. All right. Let me go quickly to the Insider Access Pass. There's a few more news stories here, but I just want to make sure everybody's happy here tonight. We'll take a few more questions, and maybe we do. Jennifer M. and the Insider Access Pass ask, question: have I worked on the moon in a previous life, Janine, for Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. And just a quick note, we finally got the mailing address of Karen Klein, I believe was the winner of a couple of weeks ago, who we couldn't find, and Carla has indeed delivered her pyramid as well. So everybody's up to date on the draws for all the weekly pyramids here for Carla. Okay, so back to Jennifer M.
I'd say yes.
A big yes.
Here's the moon. And
Yeah.
it's often it will badly aspect other cards because it's kind of a tricky card energetically, but it's next to the 9 of Cups. So the 9 of Cups, so her wishes. So she does, I wonder if when she was young, she did a lot of moon gazing and wishing upon the moon and that kind of thing. I was definitely guilty of that. I was a moon gazer right from way back when I was just a really small person. I was busy gazing at the moon and just intrigued by it. So, and I know that it's not exactly what it's been presented to be. It may not even be actually something orbiting the Earth exactly the way we've been told. Okay, it could even be a satellite, they say, or whatever. So I believe that's saying yes to her, and that she's had a really big connection with the moon for a really long time. So yes. And then this was the outcome. So this is really interesting. The sun as the outcome, the sun. Her times on the moon would have been really positive and happy. So that's weird, interesting. Because I've heard it's been quite a battle place.
Yeah, and some people are kind of enslaved in some of the mining operations, and it isn't always pretty. So, wow, she had a good part in there. That's interesting.
Something positive for who happens.
Wow.
On the moon. Yeah.
Well, I had some crazy off-world shit happening last night, and I got pulled in a weird direction, but we won't get into that here tonight. But this morning, Janine had to kind of cool me down here and do a reading for me. So I was really appreciative of you being on the phone with me this morning, Janine. Absolutely. It was wild. And I think what you said was like, yeah, you were kind of pulled out of retirement, because I used to do those weird things a couple of years ago and it had cooled down. But last night, it's like all hands on deck. Something crazy is happening in the field. Do you want to just add to that without getting into too many personal details?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I think a lot of people it's all hands on deck. We're in a spiritual war, and we're literally at the very crescendo of it. Things are going to go off the scales here. And some people are already feeling it energetically.
Yeah.
So I think that was just an example of that.
Yeah. Ronnie's like, come on, JC, tell us. Come on, man. You can't do that. Oh, maybe I will later. Well, I'm just going to sleep on it maybe another day or two, because it was rock and roll tonight. Man, Sarah and I woke up in a weird kind of like, because we were both in the same thing. That's the other thing that was really odd about this. We were both like exactly there together. So, all right. Thank you, Ronnie, but maybe not tonight. Maybe if you buy me a drink or two one day and I loosen up my guard, I might tell you. Okay. Let's bring this one up here. This was, again, we're seeing weird things happen. There's not supposed to be all these outages everywhere here. There's 60 or 70,000 websites went down the other day. Again, routine maintenance, blah, 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 cover story, XYZ. What's really going on here, Janine, is somebody switching over the controls here of the internet from good guys to bad guys. Is that what we're seeing? Are we seeing a dismantling maybe of the networks of small people? Big yes.
Yep. That's what's happening. We got a creative switchover, I think. And it's going to have a whole new... And did you notice that looked like it was really, really heavily, a band went sort of right across the middle there.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Like it feels like it's following some kind of a pattern there.
Definitely. Okay, so operations ongoing is what you would say to this one.
Yeah. I think they're probably taking. So this is the way. Yeah, here it is. So they're connecting it to maybe that new system. So this is an off-world, like, I don't know, Starlink. I don't know what I'm talking about, but this feels like it's got something to do with off-worlders and technology from off-worlders, the good ones. So some people are throwing around comes to mind. But I can't say for sure because I don't know about those things, but it sounds like other people know about them more than I do. But it's definitely off-world and technology that's beyond our knowing, but it's to our advantage. And I think they're just swapping it out. Maybe they're doing it so they don't shut everything down at once. Maybe they're doing it in areas, in parts.
I just wanted to say to Ronnie, I don't really drink. And of course, I don't know where you live. I'm just saying, sometimes some of this stuff I just want to keep personal, especially when there's somebody else involved in it. So
Yeah.
I apologize for that joke. Anyways, I want to share, but sometimes I realize some things are meant to not be shared. So it is what it is. Okay, let's move on to the slide deck here in Turkey. You and I have been reporting on this for last month. They've had huge fluctuation on the Turkish lira. They fired the chief of the central bank last month or a month before. They're having this huge hyperinflation now. Wine prices are going crazy. Like, it's absolutely nuts, right? So we're living here, Weimar, Germany, over again on the periphery. The expectations here from the analysts is that this is going to start to creep in closer and closer to the center, which is the Federal Reserve here. So we're going to see here at some point what we're seeing in Turkey. But what's interesting in this article is that the Turkish government right now, which absolutely have lost control, they can't control the inflation, they can't control the devaluation of their dollar, and the fact that people now are in panic mode and they are hoarding. They're hoarding toilet paper, water, food, etc., and the response of the government is to do what? To fine those people who are trying to protect themselves, right? So with harsh fines. Are we going to see that here by the time this hyperinflation or this cancer kills the old system? Are we going to see the government here putting up fines as well for people who are trying to maybe have a little bit of extra food on hand? Or is it going to degrade so rapidly that here, when it hits the center of the organs here on the body, on the table, is it just going to happen so quickly that we won't see that? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it'll go to the extent that is, because the temperance card is there's something monitoring it here a little more. Not exactly sure what, but somehow it's being tempered. Okay. But there is going to be like big issues for sure with that judgment, but there's temperance is keeping it balanced somehow. So something in the background balancing. And then we've got the world. So I feel like by the time the year's out, we're going to already see where everybody knows that the Fed's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, the Fed's dead. And then, so it'll be frustrating, but this 5 is nothing like what they're seeing. So they're seeing catastrophic collapse of the system because of it. But I feel like we'll have other issues. Maybe they won't have, but
why?
We're not going to see it the same way. Like this card says, yeah, well, it'll be frustrating. There's going to be frustrating things, but there's something counterbalancing it here somehow that they didn't have in place there.
Right. Okay. There's a few people in the comments saying, hey, were those horns? Yes, he was at a conference and that was the logo behind. Let me bring that back up for you guys. It was kind of strategic. And of course, it implies a lot of things. So great catch for you if you haven't seen these. But this is a recurring photo of showing Erdogan in this particular light or vision here in the last couple of months. So yeah. It is what it is. Yeah, good on you to pick that up right in your face. Okay, PayPal tip jar is a delicate question, Janine, but I think it deserves to be asked because a lot of people are in this situation also. I'm going to see if I can bring this up. I won't read all the words on there. Hold on a second here. It's a little bit tricky to navigate. Okay, it's from Jennifer Garman. Okay, can you guys see that? Okay. My husband has had the product inserted, and she's worried if she might be compromised by him during intimate sessions. So I'm sure a lot of people have read a lot of reports that some of the side effects of these products are transmissible through certain body fluids. And so what can this person expect here? And the other people who are in that same situation, who are living closely and perhaps intimately with partners who have had the introduction of this product into their bloodstream. Wow, that's a mouthful, but I think you guys understand everything there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be really careful because I want to get this right, for the person.
Yeah.
There are secret things, but this is interesting because there's the 6 of. I got a feeling that person was secretly given something that won't affect either of them.
Oh, so one of those fake shots. Okay.
Because the secret about the situation that maybe is unbeknownst to them, but it's to the advantage. So that sounds like a placebo to me. And they're so they likely not seen anything.
Right.
Okay, so not to imagine and assume that they will either, because that's not going to help. Okay,
Right.
You're going to start manifesting weird things if you believe truly something's going to damage you. It'll damage you because you're magical that way.
You're going to talk yourself into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that. Whatever you do. Yeah. Unnecessarily worrying.
Yeah.
Necessarily worrying. And there's something hidden they don't know about that causes it to not be a problem. So what I'm getting is that it was not one of those activated ones, because I know there's booby trapped ones. I've been saying it all along. They're not all.
Okay, so that answers Jennifer Garman here. For the people for who it might not be the case that it was a fake dose, maybe we can encourage them to go see some of the content here on Cliff High's BitChute. He talks about some of the modalities that one can use over the counter. Again, not cures. We're not allowed to talk about cures here, but different modalities that might help protect you here. So go study and find some of those right now while you can. Go ahead, Janine.
There's things you can do to change the dynamics for sure. Absolutely. And whatever you do, mentally use your mind as well.
Yeah.
Like use your mind in a positive way and mentally. Like if you agree to continue going forward while you're not feeling safe with someone and be intimate with them, that could cause you trouble, even if there isn't literally something to worry about. So you're going to cause harm to yourself. Everyone has to feel, you have to feel perfectly safe and good about what's going on between you and your sexual partner, regardless if you're married or not. You're still choosing to. And if you're in a marriage where you don't have a choice, then you're in the wrong kind of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So really thinking about, I need to get to a personal safe feeling about this before I go forward. That's important. And then of course, looking into things that you can both do so both parties feel safe about going forward. Yeah. And that will go for anything that's potentially like you're doing something. One partner is doing something to their body that's experimental and the other one isn't, then you want to discuss that. And there is going to be consequences to that.
Absolutely. So great advice, Janine. I hope that helps. And I know we couldn't use all the words there, but I think you guys understand what we're alluding to there. And yeah, so this leads to maybe 2 quick or 3 rapid fire contents here. I just picked this up today just to show here again how we're seeing more and more now the reality sifting through here. The boxes of the mainstream media. So the woo, again, is subsuming them. Every day now we're seeing more of these athletes on the field, either having the sudden death syndrome or severe chest pains during their games. And people are starting to wonder, wait, this is not normal. Even though you guys are telling us it's normal, it's not normal. They remember when this didn't used to occur. So that narrative is dying very quickly. Here, of course, Twitter today is punishing viewers for saying the truth that is coming off of the CDC. So you can't even say the truth, even if it's from the CDC. So imagine that. I won't even say what the truth is here because we're going to get in trouble just saying it here too. But you guys can go look at my tweet there and find that out. What's interesting, and maybe where I want to go with this, Janine, is we're seeing more and more, I want to say mainstream, and I don't want to piss off our buddy Joe Rogan here. He's not mainstream, but he's not also the controlled narrative of CNN, right? He's somewhere in between, and he's getting closer and closer here to the woo. And as he's doing that, he's attracting a lot of mainstream audience to the woo and to this new reality we find ourselves in, which is the woo. So I want to ask, how close are we to guys like Joe Rogan, perhaps Russell Brand, getting together and having this final death nail into the mainstream narrative where suddenly now these guys are so big that they can move the needle in this last stage here of humanity's awakening to the fact that they are at war? How close are we to that, seeing Joe and maybe Russell together and other people of the same ilk really flip the switch here on the narrative?
Yeah, we're like sometime this month that should have happened. We're days, I think, away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's interesting. And of course, yeah, guys, go back to this episode here. Let me just show that back to you guys here. So you see the dates on the screen here. And I'll also bring the one that Janine and I did produce with Julie, and I'll bring the link down. Oh, actually, let me bring this link down. So if you haven't seen that one, go and watch this one here. Okay, so that's there. And now the other one was, where did you go? Hold on a second here. Well, while I do that, I don't like to have dead airspace here. I'll ask you another question, Janine. Somebody in the Insider Access Pass was asking about, where did you go? Man, these are going by fast. Okay, here's a cool one. Smuz. Question, is Mr. B out before Christmas? Let's take a pulse on that one. A lot of weird things happening also there. While you do that, I'll find the other episode here for the audience.
When you say a lot of weird things happening, are you talking about at the White House?
Yes, that too. And some reports that I'm receiving from weird emails that are kind of new to me as well. But there's enough there to warrant my attention in the last couple of days.
Wow, he looks out already. Like, well, we know because remember, cards are literal. So they're like, what are you talking about? He's been out for a long time.
Right.
He's nowhere near where they say he is. So we're actually asking about the actor. Okay. So I'd say by the year end, by the end of the year, he's official. We know he's gone. Even the normies will know, if that's, if that answers the question, because he's long gone. Long gone.
Long John is long gone. All right. Okay, so this is the other episode we were looking for. This was the Astral Finance episode where we deep dive on all of those dates that, unbeknownst to us, were coinciding with the dates that Cliff was picking up in his WebBot data. So if you haven't seen this episode from last Friday night, this was one of our special emergency report shows that we decided to go live here on our Friday night for you guys. Yeah, go check out that episode. Okay, the link is now down in the live chat section. Okay, let me go back to my PayPal tip jar here. Let me see what I can do. Will my podcast grow in the coming year, Alicia? So Alicia is, I'm assuming here, sharing the truth with everyone. I don't know what her podcast is, but she's asking if it's going to grow. And that's interesting because in these astrological dates, we were picking up a big shift as of December 29, where the energies would favor people who are into the service to other field and into the woo. So what's coming up for Alicia Parker?
I'd say absolutely.
Wow, that's a big abundance card, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And really, even in unexpected ways, or she gains unexpected viewers, or people like catching on to what she's doing. Unexpected whole group of people here coming on board. Okay, so just think about if everything does a big flip here with that Wheel of Fortune turns for the whole world. And we don't know exactly what the event would occur that would create that, but then everyone actually at least realizes they're in a war. Things we've known, for years, 2 years. Okay, they finally catch on to that and actually even realize that's a fact. Okay, and that they've been hoodwinked at least. So if you get that much out sometime before the end of the year, which is what we're feeling like could happen. I mean, it feels like that's what's going to happen. Okay, then you better believe a lot of people are going to be looking for ways to understand things. So everybody's podcasts, if you're talking any kind of truth or even remotely given any kind of insight, you're going to probably all be busy.
Yes, sir. And Janine and I are indication of that already. We're ahead on the curve on that one, and we're absolutely crazy busy with all the volume. Okay, this next one will be up your alley also. And thank you, Lakeside Laura. She says, Julie is absolutely amazing. Yes, we agree. We absolutely love that show. Bonnie is asking you, Janine, okay, so this is the Insider Access Pass. Sorry, I can bring it up. She's saying, Bonnie, the Inukshuk I built in my yard keeps falling over. Is there a message to that? So folks, if you're not aware of the Inukshuk, you'll find those here in the Great Canadian North, a little bit everywhere, and in people's backyards also. Well, this is what that looks like. And Bonnie is asking why hers keeps falling down.
I wonder if this is funny. Sorry.
Okay.
Feels like, is there kids in the neighborhood messing with it? Like something that's going on, or even at night, does somebody keep pushing it over who thinks it's funny? Like
I wonder how big it is, because she says it keeps falling over. It's not like she's using a backhoe to put it back together, so it's probably not that big. So I'm guessing it's small enough that people can push it over.
I wonder if things are happening in the cover of night, you know, but in good humor.
So, is it possible that it's a spirit message, still in good humor, but that spirits are messing with it?
I'm not really getting spirit energy around it, but let me just pull one here just in case.
Okay. All right.
No, that could be a youthful person.
Okay.
Doing it as a teasing. I don't know that I'm going to say there isn't like a big spiritual message there. It feels more like a little trickster behind that one.
What was the name?
Good humor.
What was the name? It went by too fast. I didn't write. Whoever asked me. Oh, Bonnie.
Yeah,
Bonnie. Put one of those cheap LED remote control cameras thingies, security cameras on it, and see maybe who's messing with you.
An animal, because sometimes that
a deer, a bear.
Page of Cups can actually be, but whoever it is, they're doing it. There's a loving kindness there, or just not trying to be mean or anything. So they're not trying to be mean. So it feels like either a little bit of tricky, or literally there's some kind of, there could even be a critter knocking this thing over. It's interesting.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right. We're almost there. Janine. Wow. Goes fast. Let me see. Scarlett Wilson. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Okay. Can Janine pull a card on who maybe was carried out at 4 a.m. this morning at the Grand Old Blanco Casa? Wow. A good thing or a bad thing? What's going on there? Just a regular person having health issues or something else? Scarlett Wilson, thank you. That's a cool question.
Well, they definitely don't want anyone to know. So that was a covered up situation. And there's all kinds of military there. So there's something going on that the military is involved in, and it involves justice. So that sounds like tribunals. And Phil was saying that, Rapid Fire Phil. We'll call him Rapid Fire Phil. He's on Rumble, Rapid Fire. Look up Phil, Rumble, Rapid Fire. That looks like we got military justice. We'll say it like that.
Okay.
So whoever they had something to do with what's going on with some kind of trials going on there that we're not getting let in on yet.
Okay.
We're not getting told about it yet. So they're covering it up.
Wow. Okay. Fascinating. Man, crazy times. Guys, if you want to stay connected with us here on the Insider Access Pass, our coupon is still valid here for the next couple of days. It'll give you 10% off here, the yearly pass. And of course, the year starts from the day you purchase. So you have a year forward, and you also have everything else in the back end that's already there for that amazing price. So the stay connected, one word, is your coupon code to obtain a 10% off there. Now on Friday, join us for, no, that's the wrong poster. This one here. There you go. On Friday, join us for this first episode here of Divine Feminine Oracles with Julie and Sophie. That will be at 8 o'clock Eastern. And tomorrow night, my very first French episode with you guys here, Odyssée Galactique, la Genèse, et oui, c'est en français. Donc, demain soir à 8h ou à 20h, heure de l'Est. Please join us for that one. And of course, for our French-speaking fans out there, we're excited to produce this first ever French broadcast for you guys. This was, of course, Tarot Readings by Janine, and you can find her at Ascending Ravens here on YouTube and also on Tarot by Janine. And one last time, if you guys are still on the fence, as Janine was saying earlier, you're looking for silver, check it out here at beyondmystic.net/silver. These are the discounts offered for the Beyond Mystic audience. Man, Siobhan, I love the heart and the prayers. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I love you. Have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.